Okay, YouTube viewers and subscribers, and Mike in particular, you, I finally have your engine completely disassembled. I say completely because I'm talking mainly the crankcase. I have not removed the valves from the heads, and quite honestly, I don't even know that it looks like they need it. I haven't cleaned all the parts because I've been focusing on just getting the stuff out of the crankcase and the condition of these crank shaft pieces and stuff, and I wanted to just show the condition before and after some cleaning on some of these things. First thing I want to show you, here's the crankcase. It's cleaned up and pretty much ready for installation of new parts. I'm telling you one thing though, after doing this, any twin cylinder engine is going to be a freaking walk in the park after this, because this was really challenging to get all of these bearings out. There's 3 large bearings like this, and they all had to come out this way. Well, one was stuck up here, and then two were stuck on this rear crankcase or crankshaft portion, and it was tough, especially in the condition that they were in. Now that's what I want to show here, is I want to zoom in and I want to show you these pieces have not been cleaned at all. They've just been pulled out. These pieces have been cleaned almost to the same, about the best I'm going to be able to do. So I want to zoom in a bit closer and show you how badly rusted all of these pieces were. I mean, this is not carbon residue from fuel. This is plain and simple, it's rust. I mean, and it's rough. It feels like 80 grit sandpaper there. Here's the bearing. Here's one of the 2 bearings. These were the ones that were on there. I mean, you can see how, you know, outside's not so bad, but man, these things just feel like I said, they feel like 80 grit sandpaper. Here's the camshaft, and hopefully my camera will show you the severity of the pitting on all of this. Especially, let's just see if it'll zoom in more and focus. Doesn't look like it's wanting to focus there. Hopefully you'll be able to see the severity of the pitting. You can really see it all along here, and especially on this. Now, here's the joining collar, and I'll kind of show you how these 2 crankcase pieces fit together. You can see the pitting on that. Maybe if at this angle is even better. This has been cleaned. That's the pitting on this part. Now, as I was saying in an earlier video, these 2 pieces of the crankshaft, it's a 2-piece crankshaft, and they're joined by this coupler. Now obviously you'll have one bearing here, and then this just kind of gets married together like this. I don't really necessarily know I want to put these together because it was tough to get them apart. So here's how the crankshaft is in the case. You got 2 bearings like that, a bearing here, and then obviously front bearings. So reassembly of this thing should be pretty interesting, because I'm not quite entirely sure how I'm going to do that at this point. But I'm going to have to probably clean, I'm not cleaning those bearings, but get this portion of crankshaft cleaned off really well. But that's kind of how this fits together, and it kind of shows the extent of I guess I'll say the internal damage of this engine. It was pretty rough. One of the other parts that was actually surprisingly one of the hardest bearings to get out was the one from this front housing. Not this one popped right out, but this one here was really kind of a bear. And again, its bearing is in pretty bad shape too. Surprisingly, the best looking bearing so far has been the one that's in here. In fact, if you look at that bearing, you would say that's probably a brand new bearing. And it doesn't even feel bad. It feels pretty good. Now I have yet to remove this one, so it's still on my to-do list. I need to get that bearing out. It doesn't feel bad, but we've got parts and I need to get it replaced. So I'm not done by any stretch of the imagination on this. I'm not even nearly ready to begin reassembly. I just wanted to kind of show a status update of the condition of these parts. Now, like I said,
You know, the inside of this engine looked like it was a very low runtime. And I mean, 4-stroke engines, it takes a while to get any kind of real carbon buildup on there. So it's hard to say. All I can say is, you know, that and this specifically tell a story of, I would say, probably, you know, less than a half a gallon maybe. I don't know, I'm guessing here, but I'm not seeing heavy evidence of runtime here. And to have the heads and pistons and everything look so pristine, and then your internal steel parts look so bad, is rather daunting and kind of scary in a way. In fact, it makes me wonder how a person could possibly prevent this, unless when you're done running the engine you completely fill the crankcase with oil, or whatever your after run oil of choice is, unless you fill it up. Because I mean, I have no idea how this was done, but if this was, you know, you see the other parts and they look very low time, then you get to this and this is bad. I mean, this is really bad. You can see, I think, you can see the pitting on this counterweights here too on this crankshaft. It was really in bad shape, and I'm kind of surprised. It's kind of like a night and day. Here's daytime over here, these nice looking parts, and then here's the dark night, and it just looks really bad. But anyway, that's an update. I'm not sure, you know, what the content of the next video will be. Maybe it'll be when it's fully assembled. I'm not sure yet, but I've got a lot of work left to do, and I just wanted to provide an update on the status of this.